Welcome to the Lynn Miller Room in the AAC here on the campus of Morehead State University for this edition of the Eagle Sports Coaches Show. Our first guest, Warren Lipka, and Coach, soccer team played a hard-fought game on Sunday, dropping a 2-1 decision to Eastern Kentucky. Let's just get right into the discussion about the EKU game.
Well, we've really been coming along, and I've been getting a lot of comments and emails from coaches that we played that this record doesn't indicate what kind of team we really are. And I mean, that's not a cop out, not anything to say, but the girls are working extremely hard. We've come a long way from the beginning, and we played 88 minutes of great soccer and make one mistake, and it cost us. And we've been working on eliminating those mistakes but that sort of game, you got to manage the game right, and we didn't manage the game at the end, and EKU hung around and then end up costing us. But we got to take the positives from it, and then we got to take that 88 minutes that we did well and now extend it to a full 90, and I think we can continue to work on this conference schedule.
As a coach, with the young team that you have and with some inexperienced players, you are seeing the improvement, which has to keep you going and have to motivate the girls.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it today. I mean, Jeremy Groves and Binga Lara, who's our assistants, how much fitter we feel we are and how much better on the ball we are, and it is a process, and for a coaching staff, you can't leave anything out of the teaching process, and that's what we got to make sure. And this is a group that's going to be with us for a few years, so we want to develop them the right way.
In the last couple of games, it's not throughout the season. You haven't been blown out.
No.
I mean, they were.
The only game was Miami, Florida, but other than that, it's been 2-1, 1-0, and those sort of games, and we really need our attacking players to step up, because it relieves the pressure from the backs. And we had multiple chances in the EKU game to make it a 2 or 3-0 game. We didn't put it away, and that's what happens when you don't put a team away. They hang around, and then something happens at the end that costs you.
As you mentioned, if you not scoring, it just puts so much pressure on your defense that when the time comes, sometimes when a one goal probably shouldn't decide a lot of the games if you can put it in the net on the other end.
Well, with the more experienced team, a 1-goal lead you can hold on to. Because they know how to manage the game at the end. With an inexperienced team, they make mistakes. Now their heads are down, and that's what happened. Once we gave up that goal, I could see it in their eyes that we've got to learn that we got to grow up and fight back. And we're working on that.
Your schedule, as we mentioned the last time you were here, very, very tough schedule. So you're learning from this, you're getting some experience, and one loss in the league doesn't mean the season's over.
No, absolutely not. And that's not going to one loss in this league is not going to hurt a lot of people, because it's going to be very competitive. It's going to be, again, coming down to that last weekend, probably who's going to be the number one seed, who's going to be this. I think a magic number is probably 15 points to get a solid seed. But we're not thinking about that. What we're thinking about is every day we're going to try to get out and make ourselves better.
You get the one game at a time attitude, and as long as you're happy with the way they're playing and learning, then something positive is going to come out. Because we were leaving on the football trip the other morning at 7 o'clock. You're out there on the field practicing real early. It's cool. The girls are working just as hard as if it was the first day of practice.
Yeah, we changed our training times to go in the morning because in the afternoon it's when we lift and then we practice, and it's so late it becomes a 3-4 hour session, and you just lose focus at those times, and plus they're tired and they need to go back and study. So they all voted to go in the morning, and I think they like it a little bit better. It's a little bit fresher when you come out, and then in the afternoon they can get their lift in, and we kind of stretch it out a bit, and I think it'll benefit us.
Warren Lipka is our guest, soccer coach at Morehead State University. Of course, as we said, dropped the OVC opener to Eastern. You come back, you have a week, and on Sunday you travel to Nashville to take on Belmont, a new team in the league. Tell us a little bit about Belmont.
Well, I think, Belmont's a good team, very organized. they had a lot of success in their other conference that they came from. So it's going to be a battle. It's just going to make our conference, tougher. We got a long stretch between games these last couple weeks, and a lot of last week was a good help, and I think this week we need to taper back a little bit because in our sport, training for 6 straight days is a little taxing. So we're going to fine tune some things. We've come a long way, and I want us to be fresh and our minds fresh when we come into Sunday's game.
Yeah, if people don't know, you've only played 1 game a week for the last month.
Yeah.
On Sunday, so you've had, which is probably a blessing in disguise with this inexperienced and young team, the fact that you got to teach a little more, but they're nothing like game action.
Right, yeah. I think the girls are eager to get into our Friday, Sunday routine after this weekend. We're back into that to the rest of the season, and I think that'll be good for us. And we look forward to coming home, too. We haven't been home for a while.
Yeah, and of course, the next home match for the soccer team is October 15th, Tennessee Tech, and then they turn around the 17th and host Jacksonville State. So it will be nice to be at Jane Stadium
Yes.
and have some fans cheer you on, and more of a home environment, and they can get in the routine. Right now, what do you want to work on? Tell us the thing that you want to see the most improvement between now and the OVC 2-game homestand.
Well, I think, what we talked about before a couple weeks ago, we were talking about getting the right people in the right spots and defending better. And I think we've done that. We found our goalkeeper in Liz Floyd. She's been outstanding. She's kept us in a lot of games. And I think, we're not giving up a lot of goals. What we need to do is we need to have more of a presence in the attacking side of the ball. We need to get some balls in the back of the net. We need to build us a lead when we get into a lead instead of being worried of giving it up. So we got to change our mentality and our personality is to be an attacking team that wants to go and want a win and not be afraid to lose, sort of ideas. So, that's what we're going to look for, hopefully this Sunday, and bring it home. And, hopefully we get some people back out in the crowd. And I know that the record's not where I want it to be. The record's not where the players want to be. But, these kids are working hard, and I think they'll see, that we are making improvements.
Sometimes that may be the most stringent thing as a coach is to get a player who maybe the younger players, maybe the freshmen or the sophomores that haven't stepped up to provide that leadership to step up, to be more aggressive like you want. And that's a big step for them because in the past you've had players who've done it. Now they've had to accept the role that they have to do it.
Right, and it's hard when you have 6 freshmen starting and 5 sophomores. We finally got one of our captains back, Alyssa Nackey, this past weekend, and it was a great thing to have her on the field. Now we got Sam Telford coming back from her ACL, and she's being able to come on the field, here and there. So, these sort of people really kind of inspire our younger players, and hopefully they can start taking over those leadership roles.
As we mentioned, even though you've struggled at times, the experience down the road, even this season down the road, will probably help greatly.
Oh no, I mean, there's these kids are logging a lot of minutes, and everybody I've talked to is like, well, just can't wait till next year. You see these kids grow, and as a coach, I don't know where I'll be. Hopefully, I'm alive next year, but I want to take care of this year right now, and I want to be able to go to that conference tournament, and I want to still win the league. And there's a lot of things that we still can do, and I think this group has the potential of doing it.
And it's good that being so young, maybe sometimes they don't know that this is not the way the script's written, and maybe they can forget about it easier and get right back in.
Well, I think we talked about that this morning too. There's a tradition that we've built here, and they're not taking it very well where we're at. So I think it, like you said, in the long run, it will build our character within our team and make us stronger. But for an old coach, it's hard on them. It's hard on the kids. I see it in their face, and you just got to keep going. And that's what life is full of adversity. You just have to fight through it.
Sunday at Belmont, the soccer team will battle Belmont in the OVC. The first game against Belmont in the OVC for Morehead State. Then a doubleheader coming up on October 15th and 17th, Tennessee Tech and Jacksonville State at Jane Stadium. Come on out. Night game on Friday, an afternoon game on Sunday. Warren is young ladies would love to see a big crowd out. And Warren, always a pleasure. Keep the head up. We know things will turn around.
We'll keep on going.
All right, Warren Lipka, soccer coach at Morehead State. We'll come back with more. This is the Eagle Sports Coaches Show.